Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining the Verive Talk. And we'll kick it off with a small introduction. I will introduce our guests. Firstly, welcome.
Thank you. Okay, yes, I'm Siem Haffmans. I'm a partner from Partners for Innovation. That's a consultancy based in Amsterdam. And we're working on circular economy, and we're doing a lot of work on sustainable packaging for over 20 years, working for big retailers, brand owners, but also for suppliers, for example. And yeah, most of our work is into sustainability, and the PPWR is a big part of that, of course, since last year.
Yeah.
So we also try to adapt our clients to be prepared for this PPWR.
Yeah. Thank you, and thanks for your time in advance. My name is Jelle Smit. I work for Bunzl Retail Industry in Arnhem and as Innovation and Sustainability Manager, trying to promote reusable packaging as well, as we see it as a real big opportunity for the future in order to reduce packaging and packaging waste, of course. And we want to kick it off with a poll, which will be shared by colleague Narita. What's your biggest concern about reusable packaging systems? Logistical complexity seems one of the most chosen answer. Thanks for replying to our poll. We want to kick it off with a prompt, and it's saying it's hard for businesses to invest in reusables when the legislation is still so unclear. Next to this, we have the logistical complexity, of course. With the current SUP and upcoming PPWR regulations, how clear is the direction for businesses right now, and what should they be preparing for?
Yeah, that's also a complex question because, yeah, in a way, the legislation situation is clear, but it's quite complex to understand it. So, yeah, I think if we are really reading it carefully, then there are some very clear articles in the PPWR, also in the SUP regulations.
Yeah.
And that's mainly on a longer term, but that's quite clear, the long-term direction, I think.
Yeah, the long-term direction is clear. And I think we all understand why we need to go there. Only the chosen path by the Dutch government hasn't been that logical. Making a dead stop at January 1st, switching to reusables. And now there are some discussions within the government, of course, about changing the legislation a little bit or downgrading it a little bit.
Yeah. I think maybe the situation in the Netherlands is a bit different than in other countries.
Yeah.
Maybe we can say they are a bit over enthusiastic or over ambitious to go too fast, and I think it's quite good that they slow it down a little bit and give companies and retailers time to switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, we in the Netherlands, they try to go faster than the European regulations, and now they step back a little bit, but still the European regulations are there and they are not changed. So yeah.
We still need to move forward, and although it can be complex, it really depends, of course, on the situation you are in, what type of company you are, what type of event you are organizing. But it is clear that we need to take this legislation very serious, and we can help you, of course, depending on where you're at, what type of legislation is most valid for you. And on which you need to act. There's a second poll coming. Please feel free to answer it again. Do you feel confident in your understanding of upcoming EU packaging regulations? Okay, so nobody has answered yes, so that's quite interesting. Some say somewhat. It also will have to do with the complexity, of course. What would you suggest, Siem?
Yeah, I can start with maybe a short summary in 2 minutes for PPWR for Dummies. Now, sorry, I'm very serious about it, but it's 237 pages or something like that, and it's quite difficult to really understand it if you read all those pages. So a very short summary is that every company that brings packaging on the European market has to comply to Article 5 to 12. And there are a lot of things in there, like the packaging has to be recyclable, recycled content, maybe also bio-based. It shouldn't be weighing more than necessary, so the minimization. And reusable packaging is also a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to comply to that in 2030.
Yeah.
That's okay. You know it. You have 5 years to comply, and for some companies it's easy. For others, it's quite a challenge to comply to these regulations.
Yeah.
If we focus a bit on the single-use disposables, single-use plastics, then there are 2 articles. I think the 32. I have to look a little bit on my cheat sheet. We don't use any sheets here, so. But 32 is an obligation related to excessive packaging. And there they say that final distributors have to provide a system for consumers to bring their own cup or container.
The bring your own option.
The bring your own option.
BYO.
And that should be available from the 12th of February in 2027.
2027. So a little bit earlier.
1.5 years to go. You see it already on a lot of locations that it's possible to bring your own train stations, wherever. Sometimes you even get a discount. So also for the user, it's quite interesting to do that.
Positive financial stimulation in order to help a reusable packaging. Yeah.
Yeah. For example, on the train stations in the NFC, the Netherlands, they have between 10 and 20% of people already bringing their own cup or coffee in the morning. So
that's actually quite nice, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe a second one, 33 is from 12 February 2028. You also give consumers the option obtaining the products in reusable packaging within a system for reuse. So 1 year later, you also have to offer a system for reuse for takeaway drinks and food.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the system is the interesting part, of course, and the most difficult part. Because a lot of moving parts need to be aligned in order to get this system for reuse going properly.
Yeah, and then it really becomes difficult because there's logistics involved, return, maybe deposits or something. So then you have to do something with the system with paying back the fee.
Yeah.
And there are also different systems in different locations. So there it really gets complex.
Yeah.
And that's 2028. You have to offer something like that
in a system.
Yeah.
And also mentioned by our viewers in the first poll that the logistical part is quite difficult. But are reusables always the most sustainable option?
No, of course not. It's always, I'm a consultant, so it's always, you have to be careful doing this kind of statements. Yeah. But we can say something about it. For example, there was a study on different LCAs. They compared it. And there is something you can analyze there. For example, that recycling of cups is better than disposing them.
Yeah.
So that's better. And reusable systems are better than recycling.
Yeah.
But not always, because if the system isn't working, then the LCA isn't working also.
Yeah.
And the financial thing is also isn't working. So a rule of the thumb is that you at least have to get net 90% of your reusable cups or containers back before you can start stating that it's better for the environment.
90%, that's quite
at least
a high mark. Yeah. It's what we were always saying also in the introduction video. There's not a clear yes or no answer. It depends on multiple factors. What type of environment you're in, open, closed, the return rate, how you have provide the washing solution. Is it locally? Is it externally? All factors who have influence on what is the most reusable or most sustainable option. And what do you think about the hybrid solutions? Because in some cases, it probably will be better to have just paper cups, even with a plastic coating on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you are quite sure that your customer is not bringing back the cup, then it's no use giving him a reusable cup. And yeah, that's a waste of materials. And the cups are a much more material than the paper cup with a very thin coating.
Yeah.
So yes, in that case, if you're quite sure it won't come back, I think recycling is maybe the best option. And yeah, of course, you have the littering problem there. So it comes also a bit complex there.
Yeah.
You have to do something about littering. Maybe also there will be some future in hybrid solutions with a good recycling system where you can really collect the disposable cups, which is not the right name anymore then.
Yeah.
The recyclable cups in a good system, but that should also be a closed system.
Yeah.
And also there, I think you should get at least 90% back. Otherwise, it's not a closed system.
Yeah. Yeah, there are also on the disposables, there are, or let's rephrase it to the recyclable cups. There are developments going, of course, all types of companies who are offering what they say plastic-free coatings, which hopefully be part of improving the recyclability of the materials. And it's also mentioned in the legislation, of course, that you can provide, we call it disposable cups for the last time, that you can offer them, but you need to prove that you are collecting 75 or 100%.
Yeah, that's I think it's now 75% in the Netherlands, and they're raising it every year to up to 90%. So I think that's a nice figure. You never reach 100% because there are always people who just don't want to recycle it, and that's part of the job.
Part of the difficulty.
But challenge. But I think if you can recycle 90%, it's also sort of a circular system.
Yeah.
In the Netherlands, they were quite strict that it should be recycled into new cups.
Yeah.
And then you need a food approval, and that's really, really complex.
Yeah.
Maybe recycling it to other applications is also acceptable. I don't know. That's a discussion we can. That will be worked out also in the coming years. Between legislation and companies, what is recycling and what's recyclable. Yeah.
So they are raising the percentage on the number that needs to be collected back every year. So now 75, and it's going to be raised up to 90. But you have to offer that what you collect. You have to offer 100% for recycling, right?
What is collected? Yeah, of course. That should be recycled into a new product. And or in Netherlands, they're saying it should be a same food grade cup again.
Yeah.
That's really challenging because there's also legislation which is not allowing this. So it's an impossible thing they are asking.
Yeah, so you need to look at other streams like hygienic paper or something.
Yeah, maybe that's also acceptable if the paper is used in a nice way for a second application.
So we have probably already answered the next prompt probably a little bit. We should stop using disposables altogether and switch fully to reusables.
Yeah, well, maybe also not. I missed one article from the PPWR, and maybe two even.
Oh, really?
There's at least one Article 25. There's some restrictions on the use of packaging formats. That's really a ban on certain kind of single-use plastic items. And one of them is single-use plastics packaging for food and beverage filled and consumed within the premises in the HoReCa sector.
Okay.
And from the 1st January of 2030, that will be in place. So if you consume your consumption at this location, it's prohibited to serve it in a single use.
Yeah.
So you're already on track here. So
but we're not trying our best.
This is a closed location, but also on other locations, offices, maybe events. Then it's prohibited to serve single-use cups and containers.
Yeah.
And that's 2030, so you still 4.5 years to go. But
some time left indeed.
But that will be a big change in the market anyway.
Yeah. And places where hygiene plays a bigger role, let's say hospitals, etc.
That's an exception. Yeah, there you are allowed to use single use, and I think that's quite clear because there are some reasons, hygienic, and I think that will be the same.
And do you have any ideas about, let's say, large distribution centra, where a lot of people work in different shifts, have set coffee breaks with high volumes, and close to an office location? How would you provide a solution there?
Yeah, there's big resistance from that kind of locations because it is sort of a hybrid location. So you have a closed location, the office, but you also have an open location, takeaway location, where drivers come in and get a coffee and get in their truck and take it away.
Yeah.
So it's the same as maybe university situation where you have students working there. The professors are working there, but the students also take away their coffee and go home with the train or consume it outside. So that are really the hybrid locations.
Yeah.
And for a hybrid locations, you need to give them a hybrid solution.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So stop using disposables altogether. Certainly on a short midterm, that would definitely not happen. As long as we're facing all these different obstacles.
Yeah, but on a closed location, I think reusable will be the standard.
Yeah.
And you can wait 4.5 years and introduce it 31st of December. But I think it's better to be prepared for this. And on a closed location, it's not that complex to introduce reusable cups.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of solutions available. And it's possible. It's not that much more expensive, I think, because the cost might be, but also collecting all the empty cups at the end of the day is a lot of hidden cost in the disposable system. Of course, you can say, we have to wash the cups. That's a lot of extra labor cost, etc. But emptying all the waste buckets at the end of the day, it's also a lot of cost.
Yeah, we can say that for our office as well. We stopped using disposable cups, and we saw a decrease in the volume of the garbage bins being filled.
Yeah,
let's say. So you see a lot of difference there as well.
Yeah, so always look at the system level. So zoom out, see what are your total costs, but also your image for your company.
Yeah,
I think it's not really modern if you have disposable cups in your office at the end.
No.
Maybe Gen Z people will say, how is it possible that we use disposables here? So you will get a lot of complaints maybe. And so I think it's better start early and be ready for 2030 than wait as long as possible.
Yeah, from a sustainable image standpoint, it will definitely help as well. Yeah. Perfect. So we will send in the next poll to finalize this subject. Which of the following do you believe is the most realistic future for packaging in your sector? 100% reusable. Nobody answered yes on this question. A hybrid of reusable and disposable, 85%. Perfect. Mostly recyclable, single use, still 8%, and not sure yet, still 8%. All right. Thanks again for joining in. Last prompt I want to lay out there: reusable systems are too expensive and don't make business sense. Reusable systems are too expensive and don't make business sense. What can each industry start doing today to prepare for a future built around reuse?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit already. The hidden costs maybe are also part of the business case. And yes, it is more expensive. That's
get it out. It's more expensive.
Yeah, most of the cases it will be more expensive. Yes, it will take a little bit more effort from the users. It will take a little bit more effort to clean them, to wash them. Yes, disposables isn't popular. There are reasons why disposables are really, really popular. Also by users, it's easy. You can dispose it and it's quite cheap.
Yeah.
So
very.
But yeah, the society is changing, regulations are there. And I think at least, yeah, also a big part of your customers will say, I don't care what it costs, we want sustainable solutions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look at the business case a bit, zoom out, look at the whole business case, also your image of your company. Do you want to be a company who is wasting and littering the area around your premises? Yeah. Is that how you want to be in business?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be part of a solution and at least give your customers an opportunity to be sustainable?
Yeah.
For the ones who want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are various ways, of course, to stimulate your staff or your colleagues or your employees, but also people coming in from outside to be part of this this transition, because that's what we're in. A transition, and that hurts. Of course, everybody needs to do a little bit extra, some pay a little bit extra. You have to put some extra effort in, but all for the better, hopefully.
Yeah, and there's also the factor of scale.
Yeah,
it's new, so it's small scale. You have different systems. Everybody's doing their own thing, inventing their own system, washing on location or externally.
Yeah,
and in the years, it will become more efficient. So you will get big cleaning areas in it. Service providers doing the cleaning of the cups and containers for you. Or you can choose to do it yourself, which is less logistics.
Yeah.
But the solutions will be also more efficient the coming years. There will be some standardization needed. Not everybody should invent their own system. The cup should be interchangeable, at least in a location, university campus. Everybody has to use the same cups, the same containers. Then you get, scale will be bigger, it will be more efficient, etc.
Yeah.
So give it a little bit of time. The disposable solutions also took a lot of time to be that efficient, and they're used by billions, large scale, and that's why it can be sold for a low price.
Yeah.
And this system needs some years to evolve to an effective system.
Yeah. It's a part of the transition pain we're in, of course. You start with a new system, and it's never going to be perfect right from the start, of course. You need some time, you need some effort in order to get this a little bit more efficient every time.
Yeah.
So for customers or companies listening in, is there a roadmap that they could follow on how to start? What's the easiest way?
A roadmap, I think start with a simple solution. Bring your own.
Yeah.
That's doable, I think.
Yeah.
You can also sell cups and containers for people who want to try it.
Yeah.
So that's even a business model, because you can earn some money with it, with selling the cups and the containers.
Yeah.
So give them the option. That's number one. That's most of your clients will see that's really will like it, although they might not use it, but there's an option to do it.
Yeah.
Second one is maybe start experimenting with a reusable system for reuse. You have to do it anyway. 27th of February 2028.
Yeah.
It has to be in place.
Yeah.
So why not start with it already? You know that you have to do it. Experiment with it, small scale, maybe one location. See how it works.
Yeah.
Get experience. Get smarter with it. Do the same with your neighbors. Make it into a bigger pool.
Yeah.
Make it more efficient.
Yeah.
I think that's the way forward, and it's better to start with it early than. It's more efficient for your whole transition, I think.
Yes, especially the start small, learn from there, evolve. If I look at our own location in Arnhem, we started with black reusable PP cups, but both for coffee and for water and for tea. And after a certain amount of time, people were complaining about the taste. that their water was tasting like coffee. So we also introduced the transparent cups, especially for water and for tea. And now we actually see the transparent cups coloring through the usage of tea. So you see it's becoming a little bit dirty. And now we're switching to porcelain cups. And we're gonna move away from the PP cups.
Yeah.
Are there any insights on the difference between, let's say, PP hard cups and the porcelain cups?
Ooh, well, from an LCA perspective, the choice of the packaging isn't that important.
Oh, really?
At least if you use it 10 times or more, but on a closed location where you get back 99% or more, people won't walk away with the porcelain cups and take them to their homes. That's not what we used to do.
Yeah.
So you will get a return rate of 99%. Then it's maybe possible to invest in more expensive cups and yeah. If you have more open location, I think this kind of solutions are better.
In case they take them home.
In case they take them home, you lose less money, and maybe they use it on the holiday, on the camping. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Maybe they take it home as a souvenir or something from a festival.
Yeah.
They will use it maybe for years. So you lose one, but maybe you had a deposit on it, so you don't lose any money, and it might be reused anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We call that the LVT, the leuk voor thuis.
Yeah. Nice to take it home. Yeah.
Nice to take it home. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so start small. Try what's working best for your operation, both on maybe the office side or a production or distribution side. What works best, and look for information. We can always provide LCAs in order to help you make data-driven decisions. That will be most important.
Yeah, I think your supplier, for example, at Verive, you have a lot of clients, so you can also share the learnings from others with your clients.
Yeah.
So they don't have to learn it all by themselves. You can also have a sort of a platform function to share information between your clients.
Yeah, definitely.
So also ask them to help you in this, and
perfect. And we have a last poll to wrap up the Verive Talk. Which system best reflects your business? Already implemented, thinking about it, or rely on disposables yet? 65% already implemented reusables. 18% were testing or planning to. 6% rely on disposables and aren't shifting yet. 12% it's not applicable. All right. Well, thanks again for your answers on this. I think that given this poll as well, most of us are on the right way, or testing, or planning to do some tests. Like we said, we're in a transition. It's not always easy. It will cost some money as well, more than you're used to probably. As we look at it from a supplier of reusable packaging, we've lost a lot of business on disposables. So you see, that's quite interesting to mention probably that pre-SUP versus the first post-SUP year, we've lost 50% of cups sold. And if we look at it to this year, we're going to lose 70% close to versus the pre-SUP years. So the transition is going. And maybe not, and I think we're on the right track, because there is still some time left, and I think this is good news for companies who are wanting to switch or adapting to other systems. But it will take some time to get a real efficient system running, cost efficient, and also more sustainable than what we have been doing the past years. Do you have any additions or thoughts you want to share?
No, maybe you have an idea about where this is going to end. Up to 2030, how much will be reusable, how much will stay disposable in a recycling system?
Yeah. I think quite difficult to mention in numbers, but I think especially for the midterm, we're focusing on hybrid systems, and that probably will be the key solution for most larger companies who have both production or a DC and office space. I think we have to look wider in order to create good working reusable systems. So one of the most important things is standardization. We don't want to provide all the PP hard cups, but if we can discuss with our competitor, let's choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sizes, but the same look and feel that everybody can use and everybody can wash. I think it's very difficult, of course, but that would be a way forward.
Yeah.
Standardization is quite key, of course. Let's see where we can end up. 100%, it will never be 100% reusable, I guess.
And what if we get a fully recyclable, plastic-free disposable cups? Then you can dive the SUP and say, we'll just continue.
Yeah, I think a lot of companies are investing in the let's say, the plastic-free coating. What's most important is that it can be recycled properly, I need to say, that it does not contain plastic. We can all say it's plastic-free, but we need to have proof that it's plastic-free. We want to ban microplastics, of course, but the most important that if we sell it as recyclable cups, that it needs to be recycled properly and up to 100%.
Yeah, and there's one thing maybe from the PPWR, there's also a reduction target, prevention.
Yeah.
That's Article 43. I didn't mention it yet, but it's stating that in 2030, European countries has to reduce the amount of packaging per capita with 5%.
Yeah.
Compared to 2018.
Yeah.
So there will be some pressure also in the European countries that the amount of single-use packaging should be reduced.
Yeah.
And the business as usual is still going up.
Yeah.
So I made a small calculation, but compared to 2018, we have to reduce our amount of packaging with 19% already.
19%.
Instead of 5%. The 5% is actually already 19%.
Yeah.
So there will be pressure that the amount of single-use packaging is reduced in European countries. Otherwise, they will get fined by the EU. And so, the getting back to disposables and make it fully recyclable, it's part of a solution, certainly, for part of the market where reuse isn't working.
Yeah.
Make that part work. And if that's 10% or 30%, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
That reuse will be the standard option, certainly for closed locations.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do you know, that's from just my interest, why they have chosen 2018 as the target year? No?
I don't know. It's a baseline. You have to put a baseline somewhere. And why it's 2018, I don't know.
No.
It's maybe related to the former regulations or...
Okay. There's some Q&As. Oh, no. Let's see. What do you see at your customers? What are their struggles? What are examples of good solutions to make reuse work? Again, when I look at our own site in Arnhem, it took some time to find so we can wash on our location. We have a restaurant in our office. Done by Vermaat, and they do it perfectly. And they also started washing our reusable cups, but they found it quite challenging, especially because it's plastic. And if you understand plastic packaging, it dries quite difficult. And when it stays wet, you get bacteria. So you want to prevent this. So it really took some time and some different methods to see what was best for, especially drying the cups. I think you have to have a close look at what works best for your location, and you can look at different washing detergents or wasmiddelen. Sorry, I don't know the perfect English phrase word. But you can also look at external washing. So companies who are specialized in only collecting, washing, storing the cups, especially for events, etc. And they have more knowledge about washing. It's quite strange, of course, but it's also part of this change we are in. And we see at certain companies that the hybrid solution is running best when you are working in an office alongside a production or a logistical company as well. You talked about disposable cup recycling schemes in the Netherlands and specific rules in the Netherlands. Are there similar things happening in other EU countries? That's more disposable cup recycling. There's a specific, multiple schemes in the Netherlands. I don't know if you are aware about Bekervriend.
Yeah.
Are similar things happening abroad?
I'm not completely aware of that. Maybe the pressure is less big because our government really put some high level restrictions there.
Yeah.
There will be some systems involved, but also in the Netherlands it's not going that fast. Also, logistics of cup recycling is quite complex.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of volume and very little amount of kilos coming out of it.
Yeah.
So for the paper recycling industry, it is a very small amount. Even if you get millions of cups, it's gone in a minute in a paper mill. So and it's not the easiest waste stream to recycle. So
you have to have specialized companies.
Yeah, it has their own challenges also to make this system working, also financially, because return logistics are also complex and expensive.
And in the Netherlands, we have the perfect infrastructure for recycling. We are a recycling economy in the Netherlands, let's say. Very small, dense. So the logistical part for us is less complex than, let's say, a country as Germany or whatever.
And you can combine it, of course, with beverage cartons, which is a sort of similar waste stream.
Yeah.
That makes some more scale to it. But maybe cups are easier than the beverage cartons, so maybe you don't want to put them together. There's a lot of choices to be made also in this system. And I think the beverage carton industry is working on it, of course, very hard, because their product also has to be recycled on a larger scale. So also that system has some challenges ahead. And let's see how it works out. I don't know.
Time will tell. So we're nearing the end of our Verive Talk. I want to stipulate that, like you've noticed probably, there's no yes or no or black or white answer to all the questions. It really depends on your situation, your location, the return rate you can reach, the collection rate you can reach. And here at Verive, we are able to help you in a lot of ways. We truly believe in the hybrid solution. We can help with hardware to return systems and washing supplies. Like you mentioned, the washing detergent we are currently using in our location in Arnhem really helped us just to simplify the drying situation. And we just want you to reach out with any questions you have after this Verive Talk. And the colleagues of Verive will help you perfectly. Siem, I really want to thank you for your professional insights and help in this webinar. Thanks for joining us all, and hopefully until next time.